All right, let's get rolling here. Welcome to the Lovecraft tapes. I am Jeremy, your keeper of arcane lore, and we play Call of Cthulhu, a horror role-playing game based upon the fictional works of H.P. Lovecraft. Your investigators of the unknown are Brian, as Special Agent Jack Whiteside.
I am not driving at any time in this mission.
Gabe, as Special Agent Roy Arroyo.
I don't know why I never get to hang out with anyone I like.
And Matt, as Rocky Arroyo.
I wonder if it's too late to call up Guantanamo and reserve a cell or two.
Ooh. Welcome, players. How is everyone doing tonight?
I am doing fan.
Dashing.
Saves time if you don't say tastic.
Fan-dashing. It's a new word.
I'm Fandango. Oh,
Hey, Roy, how are you?
Well, and just to save time, let me break down my entire day for you.
So at 6:53 and 42 seconds this morning.
That's too early.
Well, we do have some time because we do not have any letters from Beyond today. But as a reminder to our listeners, feel free to send us your letters anytime on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, Discord, or via email to podcast@thelovecrafttapes.com. And we'll do our best to answer those questions on the air, or we will just discard them.
We have a burn barrel in the back.
Yeah, it's maybe you saw Making a Murder. I don't know.
I got the parsley, sage, and rosemary to go with your extra time, just in case you were worried.
Well, before we
Kids
begin,
these days won't understand.
before
Put
we
the
begin,
hookah down, Matt.
the hookah. Oh. Before we begin, we need to take a quick commercial break. And we're back.
Cute.
Okay, it wasn't that funny, Brian.
What do you mean funny?
Well, the reason he's laughing is because a little bird told me that Brian already bought this product and/or service to give to Gabe, who regifted it to Matt, who regifted it to Brian, who returned it for a partial refund. Let's try that again without the whistling. A little bird told me that Brian already bought this product and/or service to give to Gabe, who regifted it to Matt, who regifted it to Brian, who returned it for a partial refund. And by little bird, I mean brain-burrowing earwig.
Oh.
Saucy.
On.
Now, dear investigators, we continue. Chapter 8, TRYST.
TRYST.
Previously on the Lovecraft tapes. Reluctantly, Jack and Roy team up with Rocky, one of Roy's older brothers who works for a shadowy government organization known only as The Company. Declan, Rocky's right-hand man, arranges for Winoka Point Research Center to be demolished with explosives as they leave Bloodsworth Island via helicopter, en route to a very familiar abandoned warehouse district. In Detox's secret hideout, aka the Clinic, Rocky reveals to the FBI agents that the hacker worked for him all along. In their quest to find and stop Dan from carrying out his mad plans to bring Samantha back... that's fucked up. That was a run-on sentence, I think. In Detox's secret hideout, aka the Clinic, Rocky reveals to the FBI agents that the hacker worked for him all along in their quest to find and stop Dan from carrying out his mad plans to bring back Samantha Blaine. Turns out, Mr. Williams may very well be meddling with forces that could potentially bring about the end of humanity. Before accompanying this newfound ally in the search for Dan, the two investigators return home for a few hours of recuperation. Jack is plagued with nightmares during his short rest, while Roy discovers Greta has adopted a new member into their family, a little girl named Lily, who tags along with her new father on his quest.
Rose now.
It is currently noon, local time, on Tuesday, October 3rd, somewhere high above the tiny speck of island that is Tristan da Cunha. Rocky.
Bullwinkle.
It's been a while since you've had to actively participate in an investigation. The long dormant sensation of adrenaline and anxiety swells within your breast as you hurtle toward the air, within your breast as you hurtle through the air toward the small island of Tristan da Cunha. And what a sight! The landmass puckers in the middle with Queen Mary's Peak, a dormant volcano that last erupted back in the early 60s. What an awesome, terrifying sight that must have been. And yet, the small community of Edinburgh survived. A couple hundred brave souls who managed to carve out a life here at the edge of the world. You can't help but admire their tenacity. You notice Declan motioning toward a field about 100 yards west of the village, where the plane had dropped a marker. You fold your arms by your side and aim for the target. Jack, heights have never really been your thing, but open spaces are the absolute worst. As you plunge from the relative safety of the jet's cargo hold into the untethered sky, you experience a brief twinge of fear that quickly subsides. It is replaced, instead, by a blossoming euphoria as you see the wide open world splayed out before you like a glorious blue and green and brown map of topographical textures. Unbidden,
Where will you be when the acid kicks in?
Unbidden, a smile creeps across your face as joy erupts within your breast. You can clearly make out the shapes of Declan and Rocky below you, cartwheeling like acrobats through the thin wisps of cloud. You feel a kinship to them, 3 adventurers plummeting toward yet another island of mystery. But wait, where's Roy? Roy, just as you leap from the cargo hold, parachute strapped to your back and goggles firmly planted on your face, you hear a guttural voice from behind exclaim, "I like pudding."
Putting it in your... Oh.
What do you do, Roy?
I immediately jump out the plane.
Dive, dive, dive!
Run faster down.
And you do. You immediately dive out of the plane, and you can see the forms of Jack and Rocky and Declan far below you. And, of course, you can see the same markers that the plane had dropped for you guys to land. But you feel an odd weight on your left leg.
Forgot to take off your workout weights from earlier in the day.
I look down.
You look down and you see Lily, a.k.a. Rose, grasping onto your leg and looking up at you with a sweet, beatific smile.
Shake it off. Oh.
I like
What are you
Daddy.
doing here?
I'm sorry you're skydiving. It'd be more along the lines of...
I don't know.
Whoa.
This isn't Point Break. We can't hear each other while we're falling.
Then how are you talking to me right now, Matt?
Yeah, Matt.
Answer
How are
that.
you talking to him right now?
I'm Jack's inner monologue.
And as you mouth those words to Lily, a.k.a. Rose, she looks down as she's clinging to your left leg, and you can hear her high-pitched squeal. Whee! All the way down.
Well, no one can say I didn't try.
He shakes her loose. Bye.
Kick, kick, kick.
She's
Oh no,
skipping
it was
across
an
the ocean.
unfortunate accident.
So, Rocky, you see Declan very gracefully land in the field just to the west of the village. And you...
Roll for parachutes.
No, we're not going to do any rolling. You are very adept, and you make just a beautiful 3-point landing, no problem.
Superhero landing.
Iron Man all the way.
You break your knees.
And you can see Jack is he's going to be just a few yards away, Parachute gliding very easily, comfortably to landing. He does come down just a little bit too harder than you would expect. Too much harder, and but he isn't hurt or anything like that. But you can see that he's got this weird, almost blissful look on his face as he's like paying more attention to the landscape around him than the ground rushing up at him. So he sort of tumbles to the ground a few yards away, and you can see Roy, who is probably still a couple hundred feet in the air. His parachute is gliding, sort of twirling around in a corkscrew pattern. And you can see there's something clinging to his leg, and it looks like a small child.
I pull out my gun. Hold it steady, Roy.
Pop, pop.
What?
Pop Pop, that's her nickname for Roy.
Yeah.
Hey, Pop Pop.
Hey, pop, pop.
I am just gonna look annoyed as I land to the ground.
All right. And just before you land...
One leg sticking oddly out farther than the other. Drag!
Snap. Just before you land, you're probably still about 100 feet in the air, Roy.
Let's go.
And you in your corkscrew, you can sort of see ocean, volcano, ocean, volcano, ocean, volcano, as you spin around. And during one of those rotations, you do see that there is a Jeep that is approaching from the direction of the village, and will be here shortly. So, and then, of course, you do land and see that Rocky is helping Jack to his feet, and all three of the gentlemen are collecting their parachutes and repacking them. And then you land, thump. And Lily tumbles off your leg and just like Sonic the Hedgehog just does a little zzz, and then springs to her feet a couple of feet away.
Give it a 7.5.
How close are we to Roy? We're all pretty close.
Yeah, you guys are all pretty close.
Shot?
And
Okay.
actually, I'm going to bring up a map for you so you have a frame of reference.
What?
I'm going to yell out, Roy, what the hell's going on?
It looks like Rocky didn't do his job.
It's not my fault your little brat seems to have come along.
Yeah, you're the one who sent her off, and here she is.
Quick, we got to
Your
get to
people
number
were
one.
competent.
You're the
This
one who
wouldn't have
seemed all
happened.
concerned about it in the first place.
Yeah, I don't care.
Said the person who was worried about where she was going.
I'm not so much worried as I am don't want to get in trouble.
All right, guys. Well, she's here. We got to figure this out. What are we going to do?
Jack, you watch her.
Now it does.
You guys have an adventure. I'm watching this
Yep,
kid.
it's Jack.
Jack Whiteside, babysitter.
I'll watch her.
And as you say that, Jack,
Mhm.
you glance over at Lily, and she's eating a pudding cup.
Hey, Rose. Come
She-
here.
She doesn't look up.
Rose Lily, come here.
She looks up and wanders over towards you, eating her chocolate pudding.
This is your weird Uncle Jack. You're going to stay with him.
D-A-D-Y. That spells Jack.
Good. You know how to spell. See? It's going to be easy, Jack.
Well,
And
she
I look
spells
at
just
her-
about as well as you did when you were that
I look
age.
at her and I go, M-O-O-N. That spells tree.
She smiles, and her teeth are all chocolatey.
Can I have a lick?
She puts out her spoon.
I take a bite. Ooh, that's good.
And Jack, why don't you go ahead and give me a Constitution
Sanity
roll?
roll.
Sanity
I
roll.
immediately shit myself.
It's a good thing you're wearing your brown pants today.
I needed a 50. I rolled an 85. I failed it and immediately pooped myself.
No, what you taste is not chocolate pudding. It tastes like the first thing that pops in your head, warm possum guts.
How would I know what that tastes like?
Yeah, seriously.
It tastes like they would smell.
Exactly right.
You're a hick.
How they would smell. Okay.
He's,
I mean, he
he's
came
from Louisiana.
Yeah.
He's traveled many a dirt road. He knows what a dead possum smells like.
Eaten many a possum guts.
That's right. Dead possum guts is what it.
Well, when
First
you're
thing that
hungry, you
springs
just
to
want
mind.
something to eat. Sometimes roadkill's your best option.
I immediately spit it out and start dry heaving. What the hell is in there?
She
Don't
giggles
look at me.
and then digs another spoonful and eats it.
Roy, you got to check that out. There's something wrong with that pudding.
I don't care.
Roy, check it out.
She's eating it. She's eating it.
Ask for a bite, but don't eat it. Smell it.
Hey, Rose.
She
It's
cocks
Rose.
her head and looks at you.
Let me get some of that.
She puts out a spoonful for you, smiling
I'll
sweetly.
take a smell.
Smells like chocolate pudding.
Son of a...
All right, Rose, you can
I'm
have
not
it.
insane.
Never mind. I'm not hungry. I just want to make sure that you're safe. Jack,
Or
you're
am
insane.
I?
She giggles and does that little shiver all over like little kids do, and then just eats the spoonful.
All right, I changed my mind. I'm not watching her.
Nope. No takes backsies.
Oh my God, look, there's Dan. I run away.
And Jack, as you say that, all four of you see a jeep approaching from the direction of the village.
I jump in the bushes.
So all we had to do was yell, "Look, it's Dan," and he'd arrive just like
And
that.
here he is. Hello, boys.
It's the magic of television.
And you can see it's looks like an older gentleman, sort of pudgy, has a gray speckled beard, and as he gets closer, you can see it's a police markings on the side of the Jeep.
Please.
Although they look a little iffy, like a little homemade, maybe hand painted, and looks like he's wearing some sort of uniform.
Also hand painted.
Also hand painted uniform.
He's not actually
Sure
wearing
they can.
It's just painted on.
Don't mind the hairs.
Don't ask him to step out either.
It's a hooligan. And as you guys finish up your parachutes, stowing those, he pulls up and sets the parking brake and hops out and walks over towards you. Whips out his parking brake.
They call you tripod?
Oh, good day, gentlemen. What brings you to our lovely island?
Good day, sir. Well, we
Pudding.
have pudding. You want some? We're here today in search of just a little bit of something. I haven't quite decided yet. I've been rather busy at home, and I figured, take some of the boys out for a bit of a break somewhere away from the old ball and chain.
Oh,
I'll lean over to Jack and I'll say, "What's with all the foreigners around here?"
I'm sorry. I must have got my wires crossed. I'm Sergeant Brother Howie Neal, and I thought you'd been called to look at the bodies.
Oh, yes, the bodies, of course. See, that was just a test, and you passed. Congratulations.
Thank you. It feels so good. Yeah.
Should I give him his prize?
Yes.
Oh, no one told me they were a prize. And he starts breathing really heavy, and he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a inhaler and takes a drag
Nice.
off it.
No.
What prize?
Well, it doesn't come yet. We've got this very precious cargo we brought with us. She has this ability to help us determine what happened in certain situations. And we need you. We're going to trust you with protecting her. Are you up for that challenge?
I'm quite follow.
I'd step away and reveal Rose.
Oh, God. What is that thing?
She needs to be protected at all times. Are you up for this challenge?
Well, I've got my sister could babysit if that's what you want.
It's not really about babysitting. Is she trustworthy?
My sister?
Yes.
Of course.
Slept the last night.
Well, that might work.
Oh,
Like
all
I
right,
told you,
well.
she's extremely important.
Well, I guess maybe we should, start off on the right foot here. First, I want to welcome you to our little village here. This is Edinburgh.
Scotland?
Have you ever been here before?
Scotland?
No, this is Tristan da Cunha.
Scotland?
No, that's quite a long way away.
What happened to your accent?
It's turning more Scottish.
my ploy worked.
Damn it, Declan.
He keeps saying Scotland. He'll go to Scotland.
Well, actually, I am waiting for
Scotland.
word from Scotland Yard, but it'll take quite some time for them to get here. About a week.
Well, lucky for you, we're a little bit faster.
Oh, that's what I'm hoping for. Yes. Oh, now I'm Indian.
God.
Thank you for calling Microsoft. How can I help you?
So this is we call this the settlement here, and I'm Australian or New Zealand. I don't know what I'm doing.
The settlement tier.
Yes, Edinburgh.
that's right.
It's our colloquial
Exactly.
nickname for it. We call it the settlement. But you're more than welcome. There's only a couple hundred of us.
Of course.
Well, I guess first things first. Can you take us to the bodies?
Yeah. So just an awful thing. Is I can't imagine like 3 people dying of accidents in one day. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it does seem a little suspicious, but we just want to make sure and be thorough.
Well, of course. Are you hungry at all? I mean, the bodies aren't going anywhere. We can get a
Well,
bite
I
to
could
eat
always
first.
eat.
Yeah, I
I need
mean,
to clean this taste out of my mouth.
yeah, it is about noon, so I don't know what accent I'm doing.
It is about noon,
Yes,
so we've
yeah.
got to get some food.
Yes,
How do you think I take the time to practice these things before I start? And even then, I know it's kind of terrible, but
I wanna
keep
know
going
what you're
with it
saying.
anyway.
and I have to
On
oscillate between
character, sir.
Declan and this guy. Anyways,
On
Call me
detoxes,
all the
brother.
time, baby.
well, it's totally up to you. If you're not hungry, it's up to you. But I will say that the burger joint has a very nice burger, and they do this thing which she called it.
Yeah.
Sister Myrtle Morrissey, she says she invented it. It's something called a taco fish.
Wait.
We have quite a lot of fish here in the area. So,
Are you telling me she invented the taco fish?
oh yes, that's yes. I've never seen it anywhere else. And
That is one of
Okay.
my favorite meals, and I have seen it somewhere else.
what?
In his dreams.
Someone stole her recipe?
I think it might have gotten out. Let's go. I would love to try the original.
I don't like it here anymore.
Hey, Roy, watch your kid.
No, it's yours. I called no takes backsies.
Well, yeah. Come on in the Jeep. There's plenty of room for everybody in your gear. So
All right,
hop on
Rose,
and
you
I'll-
get in the front seat. I'm in the back, in the middle on the hump, I called it.
Shotgun. So what he keeps up a patter as you guys are loading up, and he drives you back towards the village. So where are you from?
I'm from Louisiana.
Oh, nice. I've heard of that
America.
place. I've seen it on a map.
Fuck yeah.
Wow, that was abrupt. Who was that? And where'd your accent go?
And why are you fucking a puppet?
Yeah. Hey.
Hey,
I mean, someone's knew it somewhere, so.
Where are you from, Rocky Rycroft?
Yeah, a bit of here and a bit of that.
He's from Boston.
oh yeah, there does seem to be some sort of similarity there. Are you related at all?
No.
Unfortunately.
Roy, no.
Oh, I can spot it. I can spot family a mile away. Yes, we have a very short family tree here at Tristan da Cunha. So
There's
Roll
no
Tide.
branches.
You're making a lot of Alabama jokes this episode.
I'm my own Uncle Dad.
I'm my own grandpa.
Oh, shoot.
And what do you do for a living? I understand you must have something to do with I heard the FBI was involved.
Yeah, Special Agent Jack Whiteside.
I'm a peanut vendor from back home.
Oh, peanuts. Yes, we don't have any of those here. We have to get them imported. It takes usually a month.
Yeah, well, the Red Sox need me.
Have you heard of Amazon?
We don't get that here. That's for dang sure.
2-day prime delivery.
Anywhere.
Oh, they say anywhere, they mean anywhere.
You know, a lot of people call us the end of the world here.
Ooh.
Who?
Like that
It was a
movie
great
with Simon
movie.
Pegg.
Who calls you that? Cite some sources. Anyone famous?
Nobody famous, that's for sure. But people who stop in take some months and months to get here,
And they never leave?
and they never leave ever. No, they leave.
They check in, but they don't ever check
That's right.
out.
That's right.
So after lunch, do you have a place where we could stay, preferably a screen door in?
Oh no, I'm sorry, but we do have a couple rooms at the Albatross Bar if you want to stay there.
Okay.
Brother Kemper, he's a bit of he likes to gossip, but he does have a couple rooms to rent. Includes free coffee.
Ooh, I'm in.
Yeah,
Does
well,
he stock blueberry?
but yes, we can go see him later if you want. Everything's pretty much within walking distance here. So, so let's. You want to grab some grub first? Is that
Yeah,
your
I'd like to get
preference?
some food. I need to get this.
Or would you
taste
rather
out of my
split the
mouth.
party?
No, little Rocky over there is going to be getting the bill.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, here we are. And so you pull up to what looks to be just like kind of a ramshackle, almost like an old one-level tin warehouse.
Roof.
Rusted.
Hey, there's a fiddler up on that there tin roof.
I knew it wasn't a
And it's a
myth.
rather hot tin roof, too.
And I'll mark it here on the map for you.
Two?
Saw that.
No, I didn't.
Two?
No, number 2.
That's correct. And so this is the burger joint, and it basically just says that painted in block letters outside.
Yeah.
It's got just
Burger joints.
a small screen door to let in. That's actually open. And the island right now is actually about 68 degrees. It's pretty temperate. There's a bit of a wind coming off the west, but it's actually relatively pleasant here. And as
So it's
you
partly cloudy with a 12-mile-an-hour wind coming out of
Exactly.
your west. Okay.
and as you pile out of the Jeep, you can see that there's like a few residents just moseying around, a couple of little kids here and there. You also see like some ducks sort of waddling through the streets. The streets for the most part are dirt packed. Yeah. And of course, always in the distance to the south, you can see the looming presence of the volcano Queen Mary's Peak.
Ooh, that is not on our map.
Nope. And you would only see it as an impression at this point. So
Okay.
I'm assuming
what's-
it's like off to the bottom right-ish corner.
What's it doing an impression of?
and we'll get to those other places that you see on the map as you
Gilbert
encounter
Gottfried.
them. But
Of course.
so, all right.
All right, let's eat.
I know, Colin.
All right. So you walk into the burger joint, and again, it is like like a couple of trestle tables with trestle benches and a very simple
Trestle.
Very
Trestle,
simple
trestle.
menu. They basically have
Trestle May.
trestle may. They have burgers, sausages, taco fish, basically handheld stuff for the most part.
Do they have tapas?
They do not have tapas. They have coleslaw and salads, which are made of kelp.
Ooh, nice.
Interesting.
Yep.
Very chewy.
And what's
You got any
unusual?
churros?
And what's unusual too is the under the drink menu it says well water or Coke.
Well, I'll do
Now,
a
what kind of
line.
Coke you want? You want Coke, Pepsi Coke, Mountain Dew Coke,
And
Orange Coke?
so Sergeant Brother Howie Neal indicates sit down, and then he calls out, Sister Myrtle, come on over here. Now I'm all southern like. No.
Come on down, get yourself some fried
Get yourself
chicken.
some southern things. Yeah. Oh, now my record thing stopped.
Right.
I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Oh my.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yep, great. So, and sure enough, sort of middle-aged, slim, blonde woman with wide-gap teeth comes out, kind of smiling and looking very curiously at you guys.
Could she eat popcorn through a picket fence?
She says, well, how y'all doing now? No, she doesn't say that. I can't say it. Oh, what's all this now? Well, who are these fine young lads?
We're just here to get some food, ma'am.
Ooh, some food. I got food for you.
I would like to honestly try your fish tacos. Although, I'm wondering if you've heard of taco fish.
Oh yeah, that's all we have is taco fish.
Really? So
Yes.
he did speak correctly.
Yes, taco fish. I made it up myself.
This is your original recipe.
Yes, absolutely. Yes,
I would like two, please.
I go down to
How
the
many
beach.
herbs and spices?
All the herbs and spices. I go down to the beach and I catch me some fishies and I slit the guts. And then I
What do you
cook
do
them
with
up.
the guts?
I cook them up in with some nice spices and cheese in
Make them into pudding.
in a nice cast iron pan, and then put them back in the fish.
Any fava beans?
Maybe an STNT?
I would like two, please, ma'am. That sounds delicious.
Oh, I'll have that right for you. Yes. Anything for you, little miss? And she indicates Lily, who looks up and just smiles at her.
She'll have a Coke.
Oh,
A smile and shut
sure.
up.
Right away then. No problem. And she scurries back. And as she leaves, the sergeant sort of leans into the group of you guys and says, she was the one that found the body.
Oh, which body?
I'm looking it up now.
All right, we'll wait.
Please hold.
Any
Spinny umbrella circle.
She found brother Maury Albris.
Whose brother was he?
Oh,
How do you spell Maury
well,
Albris
I
exactly?
maybe you haven't noticed yet, but we just call each other brother or sister.
Oh, so you're like a cult?
No, not at all. No, that's silly.
No, okay.
We're just a small community here, and we're very tight.
Would you like some Kool-Aid?
We like
And
to
I'll
think of
write
each
in
other
my
as
notebook.
brothers and sisters.
I'll write in my notebook cult question mark.
I'd be wrong in assuming that you've started some sort of case file for these apparent.
No, I mean they're
accidental deaths.
accidents. So I'm going to let Scott in the odd take it. I mean, if you guys want to do anything with it, that's fine. But I don't see any foul play or anything.
All right. Well, if you don't mind us doing our investigation,
Well, no,
that
of course
would be
not. I'm
fantastic.
happy
of
to
course,
learn.
after we eat.
Yes, of course. No problem.
Rocky, are you eating any food?
I ate on the plane. I'm fine, thank you.
You ate a plane?
I ate on the parachute ride down.
And just plummeting, you
Lots
see
of
there with a
bugs.
sandwich. Go.
So after about 5
Meatball
or
sub on the way down.
meatballs with toothpicks.
Turn around and see Roy falling.
Roy's eating now.
Ow.
After about 5 or 10 minutes, Sister Myrtle comes back, and her tray is loaded with drinks and looks like what appears to be some kelp. It looks literally like seaweed. And puts it
I'll
for you.
roll it up. Start smoking it.
No, hon, you put it in your mouth. You eat it right away.
Bro, I want to get sea high though.
See high?
I'm gonna examine my
You all get high.
my meal.
Okay, go ahead and give me a spot hidden.
Here we go.
Want to spot my hidden.
First skill roll.
I needed a 77. I rolled a 62. That is a success.
Okay. So right now, basically, you just have. What did you order to drink, by the way? Jack?
I didn't hear anything you said.
I said, what did you order to drink?
I didn't order anything.
But you must have. So tell me.
Okay,
what it
water.
Well water?
Water.
Well water?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to poop myself.
well water. And did you order coleslaw and salad?
Nope, just the fish.
Okay, that's coming out in a bit.
Oh, okay.
This is
You
just
didn't
the
want the
coleslaw
salad?
and
Sorry,
fish.
your audio keeps cutting out for me. I don't know what
Okay.
it is.
No,
but-
same here. I heard,
Okay.
did you order the salad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I figured out what might be causing some of the problems. Our video call is set to U.S. Central instead of U.S. East.
Okay.
That could be it.
All right.
Damn Centrals.
For whatever reason, yeah, we're on the
Oh, it's probably
US
because I'm near Chicago.
Chicago.
So I probably just auto-selected the
More
that
like shit,
main
Chicago.
server.
I agree with that sentiment.
I don't. I
Okay,
love
so back
Chicago.
on track.
Well, that's because you're lame. Purple pig.
So, Jack, you're looking at your drinks,
Water.
your water, staring into your water, and you notice like there's a little bit of silt in the bottom of the glass, like sort of like
Well, that's well water. It's good for you.
yeah, sort of silty.
Puts nipples on your chest.
Well, that's water, all right.
And there's a bit of like sort of an egg smell to it, almost like
That's the sulfur from the volcano.
a faint rotten egg smell.
Excuse me, could I get a Coke, please? I forgot to order that earlier.
Brings
She
out
calls
some
over her
powder
shoulder.
on
Yeah,
here.
no problem, hon. I'll have
Thank
it
you, I
right over
appreciate
for
it,
you.
ma'am.
Yes.
Hey, Foreign Flow, come over here.
Foreign flow. Well, I've got to get the taco fish.
All right,
Roy,
all right. But
better
make
bring
sure,
me my food.
I gotta talk to you.
Oh, sure. I'll be right back, hon. Sweetums.
Sugar tits.
And so the drinks are set out, and you see Lily take a sip of her Coke and sort of make a scrunchy face.
Ooh.
And she sort of
Now, you
pushes it
drink
away.
that. It's good for you.
What's wrong, Lily?
Don't encourage that. That's not her name.
What's wrong, Lily Rose?
She just shakes her head.
Doesn't taste good, honey.
I like pudding.
I like pudding too, unless it tastes like vomit.
She
What
looks
was
at
wrong
you
with your
curiously.
What was wrong with your drink?
She just shakes her head.
Can
God,
you
I
only
thought the
say
other
that you
kids-
like pudding?
I like pudding.
Does the demon that's inside of you not let you speak?
Daddy?
Yeah, Daddy, he doesn't let you speak.
D-A-D-Y. That spells Coke.
You can speak.
She can speak and spell.
The cow goes, moo.
So D-A-D-Y might be a demon.
This
That
just
might
goes
be
to show you.
SMRT.
I'm out.
I'm out. I'm done.
This tells you, Rocky. You know what Uncle Red
DUN
always said.
done.
Raising 11 kids is easy, but it's the 12th one that really gets you.
Seeing as how the 12th one in our family turned out, be reluctant to agree with that statement.
Well, actually, the 12th one is Robbie, so learn about our family, moron.
You visited him in the penitentiary lately.
Roy, I
Yeah.
don't think his name is Ron.
Robbie's awesome, and just because you're lame and don't get along with our family doesn't mean you can talk crap about them to me.
Just gonna
And
give
scene.
him a long, disappointed stare across the table.
I don't think you remember how badly he beat up Tommy LeBlanc. Just because you lost your fight to the LeBlanc kids, which no Arroyo has done in 3 generations.
I thought it was the DeLucas. What happened to them?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me re-say that.
Ah! I got him! That's
Look,
it, I'm
you're-
out.
Whatever. Just because
Do you want
lost...
to know why I lost that fight?
Can I
let
have
me
my-
re-say that so
Can I
it
have my
makes
lunch
sense.
so I can eat while I'm watching this happen?
Roy,
That-
do you
that
wish to
gave
know
you a
why
thing.
I lost that fight with that boy?
Hold on. Let me say that so it doesn't continuity issues.
Fine.
Did you see what he did to Tommy DeLuca? Just because you lost your fight to the DeLuca boy doesn't mean that you can drag us down with you.
Yes, do you know why I lost that fight?
Because you were too scared?
No, because the boy paid me $100 to do it.
I don't believe you. You're always making stuff up like that. You're the weak link.
I'm gonna reach into my pocket and pull out my wallet, fold out a picture of me standing next to the DeLuca I was supposed to fight while he's handing me a $100 bill.
Oh, yeah.
Proof.
I've been saving this for a while just in case.
Just in case what? We have this exact conversation?
Yes, I had a
That
feeling
kind
it
of
would come to this at some point.
That kind of specific bullcrap is the exact kind of thing that has made you the outcast of this family.
On the back of the picture, it says, "Show Roy when on island."
Open only on X-Men Island.
All right. Cool. So then Sister Myrtle comes back a few moments later. Trays piled high with taco fish and some burgers and some sausages.
Nice. Even though
Sausages.
nobody ordered anything but me.
You want some sausages?
Excuse me, sister. Do you know Sister Christian? Is she the only one?
She's the only one.
I heard a rumor that she's been motoring.
Hey. Do not tarnish her reputation.
But has she been motorboating?
Shut up, I'm eating.
And
You say with a mouthful of taco fish. So all we get is...
delicious.
And
Can I roll for yummy?
Sure, go ahead.
D100.
How's that Constitution roll?
Good, you?
Good.
I
So-
needed a 77 and I got a 60. No.
No. All right. So Sister Myrtle places the food down. You guys immediately attack it, and then she sort of looks curiously over at Roy, and it's like, "Did you want something up?"
All right, Flo. So I heard a rumor that you're the one that found the body.
And she glances fearfully at Neil, who just nods back, and and she sits down next to you, and she's kind of coughs into her hand and
Ooh, I take a big
turns her head and spits on the floor, and then reaches into her pocket and pulls out an inhaler.
I grab my taco fish or my fish and I scrape it on the floor with the loogie.
Let me. And so she leans towards Roy a bit and nods her head sadly and says, I was on me way down here like I does every morning to get the grill head up afore the breakfast crowd. It is dark yet, nary a peak of dawn o'er the horizon, but something catches me eye in the cemetery. I can see a shape, no matter the dark, kind of slouch near one of the grave markers. I about stained me knickers. Run straight here and call Howie. Only heard about it being poor Morrissey later. Sad.
Morrissey would have been better. Sorry, Morrissey. If you're listening.
And Roy, why don't you go ahead and give me either a spot hidden or a listen, whichever one's better for you.
Or accounting.
They're pretty close. No, they're not. Never mind. I'll go spot hidden. I looked at the wrong number. I needed a 70. I got a 19. That's a hard
Holy
success.
crap.
Nice.
Well, that's hard.
So she is clearly nervous about something. Something more than just having seen what she says she saw.
I'm gonna lean over and chime in. It's very, very important that we know everything there is to know about this.
Ignore him, dear. I mean, he thinks he's better than me, but he does not have the people skills I do. So
You guys should keep it down.
I understand that what you have seen might be damn it! I had the word and I just lost it.
Disappearing.
I understand that what you might have seen may seem disturbing, but if there's any chance you can make sure you're not forgetting anything. It'd be incredibly helpful, seeing as we're the last line of defense here, to figure out just what happened.
And she takes in what you say and then kind of looks at Roy for some sort of guidance or...
We really do need to know everything. If there's any chance of us finding out what happened.
Hold her hand.
Might we persuade you to tell us everything?
That sounds like a roll to me.
Okay. What's your persuade at? Yeah.
50.
I'm at 60, but if you want to take the roll.
I'll go ahead. I need a 50 out of 13. That's a hard success and proof that I have better people skills than Rocky.
Well, yeah, now that you mention it, there was something else. I saw there was another shadow moving at the fringes of the cemetery. But I think it was just in my imagination. I ran as fast as I could.
Was the shadow... Did you get good enough look to know if it was any kind of body type that you might have recognized?
It looked like a man?
All right. We've
But I
narrowed
couldn't
it
see
down
who
to
it
4
was.
people.
It might have been a woman. I don't know, but it was somebody. Somebody was there.
All right. We're going to have to set up meetings with everyone on this island. It should take about 15 minutes.
Did you do it? Nope. Okay, on to the next one. We asked everybody, and no one says they did it. Strange.
We got to go home.
Oh, that's all we got. See you later, guys.
Like pudding.
And Jack, you take a sip of your Coke, and it is very, very syrupy. It just tastes like hardly any carbonation.
Okay.
Just tastes like that crap you add to the water.
I look over at Rose Lily.
And she's looking at you sort of knowingly.
Yeah, and is there a straw?
Uh-huh.
I take the straw and I blow bubbles in it and give a little smirk at her.
She giggles.
I throw the Coke in her face and stab her in the neck. Die, demon! Die!
Jack Whiteside, babysitter.
See, I knew I picked a better choice than it would have been to pawn him off on someone else.
So you finish up your lunch, and you're pretty well satisfied. The taco fish is quite good.
And I'll give Foreign Flow Jack's room key.
I'm going to take a picture for my instant grams. I follow these old ladies.
Instant grams, just add water.
And Sergeant Neil pats his stomach and is like, well, where should we be off to? I could use a nap, for one.
Well, speaking of one, what does number 1 mean on the map?
It's the loneliest number.
True.
Audio podcast.
I'm
2
kidding.
is just as bad as 1, since it is the loneliest number since the
True.
number 1.
So, my first thought, I know we just ate lunch, but I'd like to get right down to it and see the bodies, please.
Oh, yeah, I suppose so. It's just a walk away. That's no problem.
All right, sounds good.
And where did you say the bodies were currently?
Oh, we
Walk away.
just a walk away.
Walk away.
Well, the only place we could keep them was St. Mary's Church in the basement.
You mean Sister
Of
St.
course.
Mary?
Yes,
Or would
Father.
that be Mother Mary?
I've got Father Brother John Sharp. Keep an eye on him.
My father, brother.
In your face, Fred.
Roll time.
All right, well, let's go see.
All right, all of you then.
Yes.
No, we're going to split up.
Okay, I want everybody close your eyes and point at the map, and that's where you're going.
You got a hardware store on this island?
Yes, we've got. Well, it's a more of a all-purpose shop, but yes.
You got any screen door materials there?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure Laddie does. Yes.
All right. Well, if
You
I'm
didn't
gonna
bring
be
your
staying
emergency patch, Roy?
I brought a patch, but
Okay.
they don't have a screen door in this Neanderthalic society. So if I'm going to be able to sleep here, I'm going to need to install my own.
Hey, speaking of which, how's the screen door when we came in? I didn't even pay attention.
It was pedestrian at best.
All right. Well, you got to know where we're at, though. Don't disrespect.
I don't care.
Care.
They gotta know who I am.
I'm me.
Well, they won't. Here's my thought, Roy. What if you were to settle down a few years from now and maybe open your own here?
I've always felt that I would be a great franchiser.
I think you might. Think about it. You could a plot right near the volcano. You'd have a little bit of shade, lots of heat.
That's a good point. That is what makes a screen door worth having.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Next on the Lovecraft tapes, Roy fills out business paperwork and land acquisition forms.
All right, Roy. I think we should drop Rose Lily off before we go see the bodies. What do you think?
Where?
He said his sister could probably watch her for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Does that sound okay with you?
Yeah, that works for me. I mean,
All right.
she's yours now, so it's your call.
No. I back out of that. Here's my wallet and my keys. I'm out.
What's your credit rating? I'll decide whether this is a good deal.
Pretty damn good. 500,000 sound even?
Pretty sure
All
we're
right, let's
talking
drop her
slave
off
trade
and get
now.
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna suggest that she goes to the sister's house, to brother officer.
Yeah,
Sister.
he indicates that
nicely
she lives
Painted uniform.
just a couple blocks, actually just a couple houses from the church. So yeah,
Okay.
you can swing by and drop her off on the way.
Like
All right,
over
that
here.
sounds good.
like
her off.
here in the ocean.
I was we're gonna drop her off way out here.
So yeah, that's no problem.
All right, good.
So
Your podcast jokes.
Neil pats his stomach again and heads on out through the screen door.
All right, I follow.
And it's probably about, let's say about 1:30, 2 o'clock. And it looks like, things are sort of winding down. You see fewer people running around in the streets. Where's my head? No. And it just seems like things are becoming a little bit more laid back, I guess.
Okay.
And so he takes you basically just a little southwest, or southeast rather. I don't think I can do like a line, an active line. I don't think that works. Bing. Ooh, wrong guy. Anyways, so he takes you just a little bit east to sort of like this town center.
Okay.
And then right here is the house, the sister's house.
Okay.
And
We don't all need to go there.
just
Yes, we do.
an older looking lady. Looks like she's maybe early 60s.
Okay.
Very slight of frame and looks quite a lot like Brother Neil.
Okay.
And he hails her, and she quietly nods and listens to the story that you guys need a babysitter, essentially. And she opens up the door, and Lily bounds up the stairs and turns back and waves with a smile back to you guys. And then
I love
goes inside.
pudding. Bye-bye.
And Neil rubs his hands and says, "Well, no, that's taken care of. Let's. How about we go see the buddies?
It would just be great.
We're going to see your buddies.
Have you ever seen buddies before?
Your buddies?
My buddies.
This is the first time we've been here. How we see your buddies?
My body is like over.
I just
the
want to make
ocean.
sure no one's going to get sick. That's what I'm trying to say.
We are prepared. Thank you for the
You will
concern.
get sick, I promise.
All right.
Yeah,
So
we
he
bring our own baggies.
Ooh, gross. Sacks, you mean? Sackies.
Yeah.
Sackies. He takes you what is clearly the main church, right about there. And this is basically kind of a more modern church. There's a little bit of a steeple, but it looks mostly just for looks.
It's mostly for the people.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's not a really ornate or older church. Obviously, this community was established in the late 1800s, so it's not it's not like super duper old. And this looks like it's been remodeled probably back in the 80s. So
Okay.
It looks kind of like almost warehouse style. There's no stained glass or anything like that. Okay. So it looks pretty functional more than anything else. And so Neil walks up to the front door into a very spare hall lobby area. And pretty soon you're joined by Father Brother John Sharp, who is looks like he's in his early 60s. He does have glaucoma in one of his eyes.
Which one? The middle one?
The middle one, yeah, his third eye.
Third eye.
Third eye blind, baby. He does have glaucoma in, let's say, his right eye.
Okay. Right eye?
Right eye.
Well, that's
And
right.
you can see, like, he has
Right eye.
like frown marks in his brow and like perpetual, like permanent marks. And he just looks like he's someone who probably
Scribbled on in Sharpie.
Exactly.
Permanent marks.
A big dick on his forehead. He looks like he's been sucking lemons for decades.
Whoa.
We're gonna have
Brother
a party
Lemons?
And he nods at Neil and looks at the
Good one.
looks at the four of you guys with maybe a little bit of disdain. And he's like,
Was it disdained windows?
disdained windows, baby, nothing but church. And he's like, oh, I suppose you want to see the bodies.
Yes, that is what we're here for. If you don't mind showing us where you're currently having them.
Follow
held.
me. And he turns around with almost like a bit of a boot click and takes you through the very sort of Spartan pew and pulpit area to a back room that leads to looks like it's probably the kitchen and living quarters in the back. And
A Michigan State Recruitment Center.
Exactly. There you go.
Very Spartan.
Dun, dun, dun.
300 of them. Oh.
And then takes a hard left to a door with stairs leading down to the basement.
Okay.
And he disappears into a dimly lit
Cloud of smoke.
a dimly lit cloud of smoke, a dimly lit sub basement.
And when the smoke clears, there's a tiger in a cage.
So who's going down first?
I'll go down.
Woohoo!
All right. So Jack is very
Pull out my
curious.
flashlight and
takes
my
the
lighter
lead.
to burn up the spider webs.
Nice. Metro Exodus. So Jack, you go down, and the basement is quite clearly much cooler. It's
Dude, it's
stone.
so cool down here.
It's so sweet, and
Be my man cave.
and so it's probably the best place to keep some bodies.
Yeah.
And you reach the foot of the stairs, and to your right you can see a much larger area where it's the larder. Basically shelves and shelves of things being stored, including some foodstuffs.
Right.
And it looks like towards the end of that chamber there are some stone slabs that were probably work tables.
Okay.
Once upon a time, and probably part of the church before it was remodeled in the basement.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
And on each of these stone slabs, there are 3 of them. There is a body on each one.
All right. I'm going to look at Roy and go, somebody's.
Yeah.
Ain't got no bodies.
Everybody that's dead is right there.
Roy, let's go see what we can find.
All right. I'll pull out a pitchfork and start poking things around.
Poke it with
How
a
did
stick.
you jump out of a plane with a pitchfork? That's impressive.
Nah, I took it on our way here.
Oh.
It was tied to his right leg.
So Father Brother John Sharp is sort of hanging back slightly.
Where's Uncle Nephew?
Uncle Nephew Frankie. No, Father Brother John Sharp.
Sister Grandpa.
He has his arms folded, and he's sort of looking at Neil to run things, and he's like not approaching the bodies at all. And Neil kind of nods at Father Brother, and And he's like, "Oh, come on. So these are the poor unfortunates."
Souls.
All right. Do you mind giving us a rundown as to
Oh,
what
sure.
happened with each accident-wise?
Well, I mean, I haven't really even examined the bodies. We just put them here because, I'm not Scotland Yard. But so this here, this is Brother John Young. I'm sorry, Brother Young John.
Okay.
And you can see it's he looks like he's a late teenager. His neck,
Of course, he's late. He's dead.
his neck is clearly snapped. It's at an awkward angle. And the corpse is slightly bloated.
Okay.
And then he points to the middle one and he says, and this is Brother Maury Obris. You've already heard about him.
Right.
And it's an older gentleman. He looks very old, very thin, very frail. And you can see that the back of his head has caved in.
Okay.
And even at a glance, you can see that his brain is missing.
Okay.
And he points to the third, very odd-looking corpse. And he says, and this is Sister Ingrid Pitt. And she's burned horribly. She's like completely black and crispy.
Whoa. Now, what can you tell me about what would have caused this?
Oh, terrible
Roy, why
accidents.
don't you take the
Terrible
third
accidents.
body?
What's that?
I said, so Roy, why don't you start on that third body, considering you have personal experience with being crispy?
Oh, shit.
All right, boys, settle down.
I will punch him in the face.
Brother, uncle, niece's nephew, what do you think about this? How do you think this could have happened?
Well, which one?
This poor, unfortunate woman here.
Oh,
I rolled a 33, and I needed a 33, and I rolled a 28 to punch Rocky in the face.
all right, Rocky. I think you need to do a dodge or fight back.
Okay,
You started
I'm gonna fight back and try and grab his hand from hitting me, and I'm gonna go for a kidney shot.
All right.
You mean the beans?
Damn it, I missed.
So you get punched in the face.
Boys, stop it. We need to be professional here.
He started it.
It doesn't matter at this point.
Yes, it does.
There's 3 unfortunate dead souls here. We need to figure out what happened.
Fine.
Are we done?
Yeah, now I am.
So you want to know what happened to Sister Ingrid Pitt?
Still do, yes.
Oh, well, she was actually, we found her in the field behind the Thatched House Museum.
The Thatched House Museum.
Yes, here, I'll mark it on your map.
Is that a museum that shows you what thatched houses look like?
Just out east of town. And, Brother Tony Roper, he's the one who reported it. He noticed a strange black smoke, he said.
Is he a landlord?
I guess you'd have to talk to him about that.
Mr. Roper.
Are
Boy,
you
that's a
landlord?
throwback.
Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
So yes, that's how she was found.
So nothing around her was burned? Just a burnt body?
I don't know. We just brought her back here.
Who might know? Who found her?
Oh, Tony Roper. He
And
called
didn't
me. I
mention-
picked her up, brought her here.
He didn't. You didn't see anything that was she just a burnt body leaning up against a house.
That's what I saw. Yes, but I didn't investigate. I'm not an investigator.
Oh no! But didn't you think that was strange that there was just a body leaning against a house that was burnt and no flames or burnt grass or anything around her? Somebody must have put
Spontaneous
Oh,
her
I don't
there.
know. I didn't really look that closely. That's what Scotland Yard's for.
She burst into flames upon
Yes,
her own
I
accord.
figure it's a spontaneous combustion, right? Terrible accident.
Whoosh.
Okay. And what can you tell me about this next gentleman here, the middle person?
Oh, Brother Mora, that's who Sister Myrtle found.
Okay,
I think you heard that story already.
we did. Thank you. And what about the last gentleman here?
And he, of course, he was found at the cemetery here.
Right. Yep. We did hear that. All right. Oh my God! It's a pentagram.
And yes,
All right, so-
Brother Young John, oh, poor lad. He, of course, works out at the docks.
Well, he probably works out at Lifetime
Dax?
Fitness, but
Yes. He's always like, what's up, docs?
I'm seeing a correlation here, boys. It's a straight line.
Oh, I imagine he got tangled up in his boat moorings and drowned. That's Brother Russ, the harbor master. He's the one who
Okay.
told me that.
He works with Brother Russ.
Oh, no. Brother Russ Waters is the harbor master.
Okay.
So they know each other, of course. And that's who found him.
All right. I'm going to examine his neck and see if I can see any pressure marks where maybe something was grabbing his neck, or he was strung up, or anything to inspect it. So I'm going to spot hidden it.
Okay. And what are Rocky and Roy doing?
Drugs, probably.
I'm going to take a closer look at Maury.
Okay, the older gentleman with no brain.
Yep.
Okay. And Roy?
I guess I'll look at the other one.
The burned up Sister Ingrid Pitt?
I guess.
All right.
In solidarity.
Nice. So each of you takes a body. This is very nice. Declan is sort of...
My key connection.
yeah, that's actually true. Declan is standing by, just watching the three of you work and just keeping an eye on things. So let's start with Jack. So you said, go ahead and tell me how you're doing it. Just tell the story a bit.
I'm going to reach into my bag and grab my gloves, my surgical gloves.
Don't you mean sack?
Yes, I'm going to reach into my sack,
Reach into your sack.
deep in there. And then after a few minutes, I'm going to pull out my gloves,
Okay.
put my gloves on, and I'm going to slowly inspect the neck by cradling the head and just turning it side to side to see if I can see any telling marks around the neck or upper shoulder area.
Okay, great. So you slap on your gloves and cradle the neck, and as you do so, you feel like you're cradling and turning the head, and you feel this weird like clicking as a bone in his neck is grinding slightly. And why don't you go ahead and give me a spot hidden?
I needed a 77. I rolled a 47. That's a success.
Okay. So yeah, indeed, you do see there are some signs of neck compression and or strangulation. So that sort of makes sense that he might have got tangled up. But there are some weird imprints on the skin around the neck as well.
Okay.
Sort of like circular bruises, kind of.
Okay. Like perfect circles?
Yeah,
or
like
tool?
a bunch of different circles, like small. They're each about a quarter size.
Okay.
And they go all the way around the neck.
Okay. Evenly spaced apart?
Yeah.
Roughly evenly? Okay.
Roughly evenly, probably about one every 3 or 4 inches.
Okay. I'm going to take out my phone and snap a couple pictures, turning the head and getting it all the way around.
All right. You do?
And then I'm going to run my hands, fingers in line, pinky to index, index to pinky, down the center of his chest towards his stomach.
Okay.
With applying a small amount of pressure and pushing slightly as I go.
Okay.
See if I can feel if the reason he's bloated is if he's full of seawater, or if it's just the organs that are bloated from being being passed away.
Gotcha. That sounds almost like a medicine roll.
I'm not trying to heal him though.
No, that's
take your damn aspirin.
But medicine, the first aid would be heal, but medicine might be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Madison, Wisconsin.
Who's Madison?
Oh, this ought to go pretty well. I have a 1 in medicine. So I needed a 1. I rolled a 78. That's a success.
Did you want to push that? No.
Or is it a fail?
Or is it
Push
So
that.
Spend the luck.
Oh,
yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't look like anything that you can tell, anyways.
Okay.
So yeah,
I'm not a doctor. I just wanted to make sure, just to see if I could tell if it was hard, like rock hard, I could hardly push it. That's probably the organs. If it was squishy, I would think water.
Yeah, it
would be in there.
It sort of feels like normal to you, right?
Like
as
squishy
if
hard?
as if it were your own
Okay.
stomach.
Okay.
You know?
Got it. And just knowing from being an FBI agent and seeing bodies and stuff,
Uh-huh.
I'd probably know that he's probably got seawater in there.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to Rocky.
Bullwinkle.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look over at Declan for a minute and kind of hold my hand out and wave it a bit. And he's going to reach into one of his side pockets and he's going to hand me a pair of gloves.
All right. He does so.
I'm going to put them on, and the first thing I'm going to do is pick up the head and gently rotate it around so I can get a look at the part of the back of the head where it's caved in.
All right.
And I want to take a look
gloves, pussy.
And I want to take a look at where the impact happened, see if I can't tell if it was like a blunt item, if he got hit in the back, or if something blunt hit the back of his head, or if maybe it was something a little sharper.
Got it. Okay. Go ahead and give me a spot hidden, please.
If I can
there
find
it
my
is.
cursor. I needed a 60 and I rolled a 52. That is a success.
All right. And just for funsies, why don't you go ahead and give me a medicine roll as well?
Hey, joke's on you. I used some of those 50 points Jeremy gave me to put it in medicine. So
1 of those points.
no, actually, I put 25 points in there because I felt like just spending it on something. I didn't know what to do, so I just was like, I'll put it. Yeah, why not?
Let's see.
Oh,
Yeah, you put those
I didn't
25
get 25 and I rolled a 71.
All right.
I was like, this might come in here. No.
I win. I rolled a 78.
All right. So you're cradling the head and looking into the brain pan. You see it is, a bit of dirt around the broken skull on the edges. And there is, it looks like there's something wedged deep in there. Something like a little glint of something. It looks like maybe hard to tell, like a fish scale, it's hard to tell. It's deep in
USB drive. It's brain.
You wouldn't by chance happen to have a pair of tweezers or something, would you?
Declan whoops them out.
Thank you, Declan. I'm going to reach in with the tweezers and try and pull that. See if I can't.
Yeah, and it easily pulls out, sort of with a wet, sick. Yeah, like that. And as you bring it up, you see it is a broken fingernail.
And then you look down and realize that one of your fingernails has broken off.
I can't believe someone would clip their nails inside of his head. That's gross.
Nice. All right. And so to answer your other question, Rocky, it looks quite clear that whatever caused this was a blunt. And it opened the skull wide open. But something definitely caved in the back of his skull. And
okay.
The brain is nowhere to be found here anyways. But there is a broken fingernail in the deep recesses of his brain pan. All right, Roy. You're looking over Sister Ingrid Pitt's burned, blackened, crispy body.
Check her pits.
Extra crispy.
And as I wince, I check the body for glass shards.
Okay. Whereabouts? What part of
Yes.
the body?
The torso area.
Torso. Okay. Go ahead and give me a spot hidden.
There it is.
I need a 70. I got a 64. That's a success.
Okay. So you're looking at her torso area very closely to see if there's any sort of fragments of glass. And you blink because you see like the blackened exterior rise slightly. And you realize in horror that she is still breathing?
Shoot her.
Rubber gloves.
And you look up towards her face,
Rubber
and her
glove.
eyes snap open. She looks you dead in the eyes. Her mouth opens with a creak and a crack as the skin splits. And a frog shoots out of her mouth, along with a healthy lungful of fresh water. And you hear a sigh. Father. And then she dies.
She didn't say brother, father.
I'm going to need you to make a sanity roll, please.
Shocker. Hey, and notice how many good rolls I've made today. This one's gonna
Why'd
be like
you
a
say
fumble.
that? Why'd you say that?
Fumble.
I gotta reverse
fumble,
jinx it.
fumble.
Got a 79. I need a 62.
So
That's a fail.
you're going to take 1 point of sanity. And go ahead and tell the story of what happens when you see this sight.
He shoots her.
He's afraid
Well,
of
the
him.
minute that I see that frog, I am blasted with flashbacks of my childhood, and accompanied with the burning sensation that I once felt in that jail cell down in Texas. And I immediately start fumbling to pull my gun out, but I drop everything all over the floor, and I'm trying to pick them up, but I cannot manage to.
All right. And the rest of you see Roy essentially lose his shit.
Hold on.
I get the paper towels and start cleaning up his shit.
And
Found your shit. It's right over there.
And amidst all of this chaos, as presumably, Declan rushes to Roy to help as he sort of stumbles backward and drops his gun and everything. And how do you two react?
Hold on.
Yeah. Step in a photo.
I rush over to Roy's side, kneel down and just grab his arm. Roy,
Give me your brother kneel
focus,
down.
focus.
And as you do so, Jack is kneeling down next to Roy, and the frog just looks up at you and goes, "Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit."
I say, "Fuck you, Kermit," and pull up my gun. Bam, 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 bam.
And I think that's where we need to call it, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're about an hour
Ribbit,
18
ribbit.
in, so I think we're
Yeah,
good.
perfect.
So
Perfecto, mon ami.
that's a pretty decent.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was good. That was good.
All right.
I like.
Well, tune in next time for Chapter 8, Tryst. Got any thoughts about the investigation so far, guys? Theories?
I
Their
like
bodies.
I like that we're confronting our fears. That makes me feel
What do
good.
you mean we?
I jumped out of a plane
I'm not
and
afraid
had
of
a huge
anything.
open area around me.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I took
Whatever.
into account what we did
It was
last
okay with it,
session. And
Yeah.
because you had overcome that key connection,
Yeah.
we have to choose a new key connection for you.
I like it. Pudding.
Yeah, and then so I figured that was the best way to do to show that you had overcome that by changing your fear to joy now. So we'll have to figure something else out. But I do find it very fun that Roy picked the one
That
one
had the
body
frog?
the one body that was going to have that particular sequence.
That's funny.
So
So I made sure to pick second so I could only leave him that body.
Yeah, because Matt knew.
I put the frog there. You've been
European
pranked, bro.
man.
You've been pranked.
Just a prank, bro.
So wait, if we're all facing our fears, when is Tony DeLuca gonna show up?
Oh,
He wants his $100 back.
that's right.
I'm gonna shoot him.
Yeah, and then I'll report you.
Nice.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, it's probably too early.
I am the government.
Too early in the scenario for you guys to have too much in the way of theories. So
Yeah.
My theory is that Foreign Flow is the murderer.
nice. Foreign flow.
Foreign flow.
All right, well, let's get on with some recommendos. What do you say, guys?
Yes.
Go ahead and roll a
let's do it.
D100, please.
I'm gonna use the handy new D100
Nice.
button on my character sheet.
I rolled a 19.
I'm doing it
I
old
rolled
school.
56.
I rolled a 72.
Nice. So it's going to be Gabe, Matt, Brian, and I rolled a 12. So Gabe,
Nice.
start us off.
I'm gonna start a couple-week trend like I like to do with this recommendo. It is 2004 film Kung Fu Hustle.
Nice.
Love that movie.
It's a sort of comedy gangster movie that's in. They do kung fu.
In a movie?
Yeah, and
With
and they
gangsters?
hustle. It is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen
Mm-hmm.
because it is basically a cartoon come to life.
Yeah.
Seeing these like sort of kung fu gangsters just in such wacky situations, like using a knife wrong, getting beaten up by old ladies, doing like Looney Tunes runs is one of the funniest things you can imagine, especially if you like kung fu movies
Yes.
and Looney Tunes like I do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically my best way to sum it up. It's hard to explain unless you've seen it. So just give that a look. That's Kung Fu Hustle.
Pretty accurate, actually.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Shaolin Soccer?
Yeah.
Shaolin Soccer?
Dude,
Yeah.
Shaolin
love it.
Soccer is fucking awesome.
that
I
movie.
prefer Kung Fu Hustle just because I
They're
prefer
both great.
gangster movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
cool.
it's a good flick.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's awesome. All right, let's go with Matt. You're next.
Well, I'm continuing my trend from last week to where this
We're
is
doing a
video
podcast?
game, but it is gaming related. We have listeners out there who probably play D&D. Usually when you listen to one of these kinds of things, you're into all kinds of things. And if as anyone who's played D&D knows, you can get stress-induced nightmares just by me mentioning the deck of many things.
Mm-hmm.
So, why that can be entertaining, I've found a much better alternative to the deck of many things called the deck of silly things. And it's 50 really amazingly hilarious items that are written and set up for D&D usage that none of them, do anything terrible, but, no matter what you pull out of this, you're going to have a good time. You have some lovely items such as the Helm of Thoughts and Prayers, which allows you to put your hand to your head and say thoughts and prayers, and any creature within 10 feet has to make a wisdom saving throw or they think you're a really nice person. Other than that, it doesn't do anything whatsoever. There's Jeremy's personal favorite, the Pot of Casting,
Mm-hmm.
which if you're on our Discord, you can get a really nice look at that card. For Brian, we have the Sand of the Pocket.
Yes. Pocket sand.
And for Gabe, we have the Basket of Endless Breadsticks.
Ooh.
Like a
Ooh.
red stick.
And salad refills?
No.
But like I said, there are 50 items in this deck. All of them are ridiculous and silly and absolutely amazing, and you can actually play D&D 5e with them if you so wish.
Nice.
So if you're looking for something that's just a little bit more wacky to add to your D&D game, go and check out the deck of silly things.
Nice.
I just happen to have a physical copy because I backed the Kickstarter for it. So if you don't want to go out and find and buy one of those, you can actually go to the guy's website. If you just Google the deck of silly things, you can find it, and he offers a PDF where you can just print it out onto your own. So it's totally free if you want to go.
Nice.
Very cool. We'll check that out. Brian, you're up next.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah,
Nice deck.
thanks.
All right, mine is a TV show. Shocker.
No.
On
But
Netflix,
this
they
was
just
the
released the Umbrella Academy. Has anybody here heard of that? Podcast.
See.
Yeah, it's shaking
No.
our heads. Basically, in 1989, 43 infants were born to women who the day before showed no signs of pregnancy. Billionaire tried to get as many as he could of these children, was only able to adopt 7 of them through monetary means. He basically is raising these kids to, in his opinion, save the world. But what we find out is each kid has their own special power or ability. Where we pick it up is them all grown up and dispersed around the world or the country, and something brings them back together to confront all of their issues they had when they were children and teenagers and moved out, and something sparks to where they have to work together again and use their abilities and basically save the world. It's very creative. It reminds me of what was the movie with Hit Girl?
Kick-Ass?
Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Like Kick-Ass and Watchmen, like combined. Real dark, real gritty. They're heroes, but they're nowhere near perfect. They have their flaws, emotionally and physically sometimes. It's really interesting to see something in actors that click together to make something that's entertaining, a little bit of comedy. So definitely check it out. It's Umbrella Academy. First season's on. Matt says no, he'll never watch it.
I am with Matt.
But I really enjoyed it. I've already watched the entire first season. So
I've heard really good things about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it has a 97% liked for the TV show currently. It's only a 71% for Rotten Tomatoes, which is still pretty darn good for a TV show, especially on Netflix. 8.4 out of 10 on IMDb. So,
all right, cool. All right, well, I'm going to wrap things up here with my recommendo for tonight. And
is it a burrito?
It's a burrito. I'm going to wrap it up, baby. It's a
taco
chimichanga.
fish?
Oh.
It is the board game, quote unquote. I don't know if this is actually a board game, but they say it is. Sherlock Holmes, Consulting Detective. And this is you can see it over my shoulder, probably right over there. It is a mystery game that you solve by reading a narrative and pulling out locations, which might be clues that lead you to a map. It's sort of like a choose-your-own-adventure kind of thing where you flip through a book that has all of the narrative elements for each of the locations. And you basically flip to it and then read the next bit, and it'll tell you whether or not there is actually a clue or a dead end to that particular case you're trying to solve. So we played the first one where there was a dead body, and you kind of had to figure out like who killed it, right? Who killed this dude? And there's a lot of red herrings. There's a lot of people who could be suspects, but turn out not to be for various reasons. And so this is also sort of interesting because in addition to the narrative storytelling aspect, there's also a newspaper that goes with each case, and it looks just like a newspaper. And it has little advertisements for crazy things back in the 1800s or 1900s, whatever it is. And but among those advertisements and help wanted ads and news items are actual clues to the case too. So you have to read the newspaper and then sort of remember, oh wait, I saw that ad for this thing that comes up later in the narrative, and gives you a clue to who might be the killer and so forth. So it's pretty in depth. The scoring it rewards you if you're quick. So if you follow fewer leads and go to fewer locations, you get better points. And if you deduce correctly those clues, you'll get better points. But if you go down dead ends, you actually get minus points. So you have to be very careful about that. Each case takes about 2 to 3 hours to play. So basically set aside a Sunday afternoon and play this thing. There are 10 cases in the first edition that we got. So there's very little replay value. So, you solve a case, that's it. But essentially,
Right.
you got 3 hours of fun out of it, and there's 10 of those, so you
Per
got
play,
about
yeah,
30 hours.
30
yeah.
hours.
And I also picked up the second one, which has another 10 cases. What I like about it mostly is it's immersive. It's very literary, so there's a lot of storytelling going on. It's puzzle solving. You have to kind of figure out, like, okay, this person couldn't do it because they had a injured arm, so they couldn't have shot that gun because it was a right-handed, so you have to do those sorts of things. And also, it's very fun to be cooperative, so you get another player. Usually two people is about right. And it's completely worth it because it's not very expensive at all. I think it's around $30, something like that. So for the money, it's actually quite nice, and it's very immersive. And you get to compete with Sherlock Holmes. So Sherlock Holmes is a character within the game who you compete against and who is also your mentor. So you get some clues from him as well. And then he does the wrap-up at the end. So that's Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, and I highly recommend it. Particularly, it seems like board games these days are more into play it once and modify it, and that's your experience, and that's that. That seems to be the trend in board games these days. That's Gloomhaven, for instance, does that same sort of thing. So. And that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Lovecraft Tapes. We thank you for listening and watching, if you're watching, as I knock my desk. Please,
I did mine too.
Please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Music, Podbean, Spotify, Stitcher, or anywhere you download your regular podcasts. If you like what you hear, please leave Brian a review. And then he'll give it to us, and then we'll return it for a partial refund. So, meanwhile, you can find us at the